Good evening, you're watching CNBC-TV18 and this is After the Bell. First up, all the market action then. The bulls took a breather after rallying for 7 straight days. The Nifty closed flat with a negative bias while the Sensex managed to stay in the green. The mid-caps underperformed, losing 0.5%, while Nifty Bank hit another record close. Looking sectorally, the gainers today were realty, IT companies and PSU bank stocks. As you can see on your screen right now, they're all in the green. And on the other hand, auto stocks, energy scrips and media companies traded under pressure and were the laggards. Last week, the crisis at Jet. Lenders are scrambling for funds after foreign partner Etihad has hinted at exiting the debt-ridden career. On the other hand, Naresh Goyal is in Dubai talking to potential investors. And the man currently in the cockpit, that is SBI Chairman Rajneesh Kumar, was in the capital meeting with the finance minister. The clock is ticking and pilots of Jet Airways have threatened to stop flying in 10 days if their salaries are not paid. Only 35 planes of Jet Airways are currently active from its fleet of over 109 flights. Now, essentially, only 29% of Jet Airways planes are currently flying. Soon after the meeting with Finance Minister, SBI's Rajneesh Kumar spoke to the media and he said, "All hope is not lost." Standing just outside North Block, Kumar said he did not receive any directions from the government and also claimed that lenders are still in talks with Etihad.
IBC means that we are grounding the airline. So we will try till such time we believe that all hope is lost. But as on date, I can say that not all hope is lost. So we have not reached that decision point where we say enough is enough and nothing can be done and let the airline be grounded.
What is government's direction to you?
Government's no direction. One thing you have to understand, I dislike this word. We are bankers. We know our commercial interest. It is our duty to keep the government informed. There is one unanimous view that till such time all hope is not lost, effort should be made to keep the airline running, and everybody believes that Jet Airways is a good aviation property.
So when we see Etihad moving out,
Etihad, try to read their statement, that try to understand the situation. There is on one hand one partner, there is another, right? And if both cannot arrive at a consensus, we are, and what is lenders or our interest? Our interest is in Jet Airways. Our interest is not in the promoter. Our interest is not with this any other partner or this. They will take decisions based on their assessment of the situation. But the dialogue with Etihad, I can tell you, is on.
All right, so Rajneesh Kumar insists that the dialogue with Etihad Airways is still on amidst reports, of course, and we've also been telling you that Etihad Airways has conveyed its intention to exit the airline completely, where it holds 24% stake if things do not go as planned. So where do things stand currently? With Etihad threatening to pull the plug, lenders are looking for a new investor. We're given to understand that they are looking at potential investors to replace Etihad Airways in the airline, and this will be in addition to NIIF, which will be backed by Idea, putting in about 16 to 1900 crore rupees to pick up another 20% stake in the company. So even as those talks are still on, lenders will now have to find a new investor for Jet Airways if Etihad does, make good on its, threat rather to exit Jet Airways. That is something that continues to play out. The fact of the matter is that the airline needs money immediately, and the other plan that the lenders are working with is some sort of additional funding to Jet Airways on the condition that Naresh Goyal and Etihad Airways both pledge their shares, and in return for that, the lenders may give some money. Now, all of these are proposals and Plan B, which is being put in place in case Etihad does pull the plug. But for now, let me also go across to Anu Sharma, who's standing by with more details. Anu, you said Naresh Goyal is also in Dubai hunting for potential investors. Who is he meeting and what can we expect? The time is of the essence with only 29% of the fleet currently being operational.
Well, the situation at Jet Airways is worsening on an hourly basis. The airline is suspending its daily service between Delhi and Bangalore. temporarily from tomorrow, as per the information available on the website. We also are given to understand that the airline is also temporarily suspending operations on a lot of routes from March 31st onwards. You will see a sharp reduction in the flights on these routes, which would be Mumbai, Bahrain, Bangalore, Vadodara, Bhuj, Mumbai, Bangkok, Mumbai, Bangalore, Pune. So it is a time of reducing operations, declining fleet for the airline. The airline is expected to have a fleet of around 35 planes as of now, because yesterday 6 more planes were grounded. There are ongoing negotiations which are happening with the lessors regarding the number of fleet that the airline can keep. Remember, the airline currently owns around 16 planes. As far as the infusion of funds is concerned, we given to understand that Naresh Goyal is currently in Dubai, and he is holding discussions with a lot of potential investors. He also recently met the CEO of Qatar Airways, but there is no word as to the outcome of that meeting. He is expected to be away from the country at least the entire month, and is expected to be back in India only in April, not before that. So he has a window of around 10 days to figure out a way for the airline survival. Remember, from 1st of April, the pilots have said that they will stop flying unless the company, signs a letter of intent regarding the payment of delayed salaries or brings in money. So the pilots are expected to hold another meeting today in Delhi. And as of right now, Etihad, which holds around 24% stake in the airline, is also not ready to infuse funds into the airline, which continues to struggle for the past 6 or 7 months. We'll continue to track this space for more. Back to you.
Anu, thanks very much for joining in. But there's some more flashes on the Jet Airways story that are breaking on your screen right now. And Timsi Jaipuriya has picked up some more information from her sources in the Finance Ministry that the government has hinted that the banks are indeed looking at a change in management at Jet Airways as one of the possible solutions to revive the airline. Timsi, what have your Finance Ministry sources told you? We understand, of course, Rajneesh Kumar, State Bank of India chairman, just met with the Finance Minister. What has he conveyed?
Well, what we understand from sources right now, that there was a closed-door meeting between Rajneesh Kumar, the SBI Chief Aviation Secretary, Principal Secretary to PM Nitendra Mishra, along with the Finance Minister, trying to appraise the government about the entire matter. SBI Chief, after the meeting, did mention that any possibility of getting a new player cannot be ruled out very clearly. And post this meeting, when Finance Ministry sources have also indicated that banks are trying to revive Jet Airways to protect the interest of both consumers and creditors, because rapidly increasing airfares is also what is worrying government. And yes, the interest of creditors is also what government needs to protect. But yes, banks are trying to work out a way to revive Jet Airways, is what SBI has very clearly mentioned to Finance Minister. They've also said that there is a resolution plan that they have in mind, which they tried to convey to the Finance Minister, and said that they are trying to see that if any change in management is possible, is one of the main areas that can be taken care of.
Timsi, just a quick clarification. When you're talking about a change...
Hello?
Thanks very much. We've lost that line for now. But Timsi, thanks very much for joining in with that very critical bit of information that Finance Ministry sources have told her that banks are indeed looking at a change in management at Jet Airways as a possible revival method for the airline. We'll keep continuing to track that story for you. Vodafone Idea, India's largest telecom operator by subscriber base, is planning to raise up to 25,000 crore rupees by issuing fresh equity to its shareholders. Now, the Vodafone Idea stock slipped by 7% in intraday trade after the company's board approved the rights issue earlier this morning. Reema Tendulkar joins us now for more on this. Reema, take us through the highlights of this 25,000 crore rupee rights issue, and will the minority shareholders look to participate?
Thanks so much for that. A couple of takeaways. One, the rights issue is priced at a 60% discount to where the stock closed yesterday at 12.5 rupees per share. That is the amount at which Vodafone Idea will be raising their 25,000 crore rupees. Now, the 60% discount is much higher than the 30% discount that Bharti Airtel had to offer in its rights issue. Now, because the rights issue price is so cheap or low for Vodafone Idea, the post-equity dilution is about 70%. So the current shares of Vodafone Idea at 873 crore shares. Now, to raise 25,000 crore rupees at 12.5 rupees, they will have to issue 2,000 crore new shares, which means a post-equity dilution of 70%. Now, the total size is 25,000 crore rupees. You already have a commitment from the promoters. Aditya Birla will put in $1 billion, while Vodafone Idea will put in about Vodafone Group will put in about $1.5 billion. The rest of it has to come in from the minority shareholders, and the question is, will they find the 12.5 rupees price attractive enough to participate? It is at a big discount, and I think the reason why Vodafone Idea priced it at a 60% discount was to ensure that the minority shareholders actually participate. If they don't, then their holding gets diluted. In the past, Idea investors have lost out, so they have seen a fair amount of wealth destruction. In February of 2018, they raised at 82.5 rupees per share. The QIP in 2014 was at 134 rupees per share, and the promoter shareholding stands at 71.3%, which means that if the minority shareholders don't participate, the headroom available for the promoters to mop up the unsubscribed portion is also limited if they do not get that SEBI approval to increase their shareholding beyond 75%. Back to you.
All right, Prima, thanks very much for reporting on that important rights issue from Vodafone Idea. Now, L&T's takeover bid for Mindtree, amidst a strong opposition from the promoters, has become one of the most discussed topic in the corporate world. The Mindtree board is meeting today to discuss share buyback and open offer in order to avert a takeover by L&T. Promoters of Mindtree have indicated that they have a strong backing from domestic as well as institutional investors. The big investors, remember, include Nalanda Capital, which holds 10%, and Arohi Asset Management, which holds 2.4% in Mindtree. Now, here's some news from the auto space then. The two-wheeler sector is facing a sudden drop in demand, and many companies have confirmed that they are undertaking production cuts. Bajaj Auto's Rajiv Bajaj has said that for some two-wheeler makers, the inventory levels have touched alarming levels of 100 days. In an exclusive conversation with CNBC-TV18, Rajiv Bajaj added that some companies will have to cut production by as much as 50%. Listen in to what he told us.
Inventory for some is actually, I think, in triple digits, 100 days or more. They may or may not acknowledge that, but that is the reality. And in terms of production cuts, typically I hear of some of the big makers effecting about a 20% cut. And don't be surprised if on 1st or 2nd April you find out that some of the big ones have cut back by as much as 50 or 60% in March. For Bajaj Auto, I can say very confidently we are in a good position. We are at 55 days of inventory right now. I can tell you very specifically, our retails this month may be 200,000 or a little more. The stock is 375,000, so that's about 55 days work. And we have two choices because we are not happy with 55 days of stock. We can either reduce stock to 45 days by reducing the inventory, or we can push up our retail. And I think we are going to push up our retail. You will see it moving up. I am very confident in the next 2-3 months to 250,000 or thereabouts. And then we will be absolutely comfortable at 45 days of stock.
The big national headlines then. The BJP-led Goa government proved its majority on the floor of the House today, and 20 MLAs voted for the motion of confidence against 15 of the Congress-led opposition parties. Remember, Pramod Sawant was sworn in as the Chief Minister of Goa in the wee hours of Tuesday after Manohar Parrikar passed away. Today is the last day of Priyanka Gandhi's 3-day Ganga Yatra. She is in charge of eastern Uttar Pradesh for the Congress party, and Priyanka Gandhi offered prayers at the Kashi Vishwanath temple in Varanasi today, and she hit out at the Modi government, accusing it of being anti-women, anti-farmer and anti-labourer.
The BJP has systematically attacked every institution in this country for the last 5 years, including the institution of which all of you are a part. You are aware of it better than I am aware of it. So I think the Prime Minister should stop thinking that people are fools and understand that they see through all this.
In more election news then, a plan to revive BJP in Chhattisgarh. The party has now decided to drop all sitting MPs in the state and has decided to field new faces. The decision comes after BJP received a drubbing by Congress in the recent assembly polls in December last year.
छत्तीसगढ़ में छत्तीसगढ़ यूनिट ने केंद्रीय चुनाव समिति से ये गुजारिश की है कि हम अपनी स्वेच्छा से और सर्वसम्मति से छत्तीसगढ़ के सब 11 के 11 प्रत्याशी नए लाकर चुनाव नई कलेबर में नई उत्साह से नई जोश से चुनाव लड़ेंगे, जिससे जो अभी तक वहाँ का राजनीतिक वातावरण हुआ या पीछे जो जनादेश आया उस जनादेश को मानते हुए हम नए जोश में फिर 11 सीटें जीतेंगे।
BSP Supremo Mayawati has decided not to contest the 2019 Lok Sabha elections. Making that announcement, the former Chief Minister of Uttar Pradesh said that she took this decision keeping in mind the current political situation. Mayawati also claimed that she could win from any seat, but her focus right now was on defeating the BJP and win more seats in elections. Listen in to what she said.
वर्तमान हालात व जरूरत को देखते हुए तथा अपनी पार्टी की मूवमेंट के व्यापक हित के साथ साथ जनहित व देश हित का भी यही तकाजा है कि मैं लोकसभा का चुनाव अभी नहीं लड़ूं, और यही कारण है कि मैंने फिलहाल लोकसभा का आम चुनाव नहीं लड़ने का फैसला किया है। मुझे उम्मीद ही नहीं बल्कि पूरा भरोसा भी है कि हमारी पार्टी के लोग मेरे लिए गए इस मिशनरी फैसले को जरूर समझेंगे।
Amid speculation, Congress Party and the National Conference have announced an alliance in Jammu and Kashmir for the Lok Sabha polls. Making the announcement, Congress leader Ghulam Nabi Azad and NC patron Farooq Abdullah said it is in national interest and will help strengthen secular forces. While the Congress will contest the Jammu and Udhampur Lok Sabha seats, National Conference will fight from Srinagar. Today is the last day to register for a voter ID card for the general elections, and we at CNBC-TV18 have found a workaround to try and get your voter ID in time. CNBC-TV18's Kevin Lee takes you through the process of registering for a new voter ID. Take a look.
The first phase of the Lok Sabha elections are less than a month away, and if you still don't have your voter ID, we have some bad as well as some good news for you. The bad news first. You can't apply online anymore because that process normally takes between 45 to 60 working days, and chances are that you're not going to get your voter ID in time. The good news is that we do have a strategy that might help you get your voter ID in time for the elections. Of course, we can't make any guarantees, but this is definitely your best bet to still get a voter ID in time for the general elections. The first step to get your voter ID is to go to the NVSP website and download the Form 6. You can download this in either English, Hindi or Malayalam. The first page of the form looks something like this, and you're going to need this form regardless of whether you're applying for a new voter ID or you want to change your address on your old voter ID. The second step is to fill out this form, and we're going to show you how to do that. It's a fairly simple form to fill. It needs basic details. Also, there is a specific instruction manual on the website, so you can refer to that in case you're having any difficulty. You also need one photograph and a proof of identity and a proof of address. There are special appendixes that you need to attach in case you're applying for a change of address or for a replacement of an older voter ID. Now that my form is filled up, I'm going to go to my local election office to submit it. Follow me. Step 3. Take your filled up Form 6 along with a copy of a proof of identity and proof of address. In my case, both of those are a copy of my passport, and come down to your local election office. I'm going to submit my filled up Form 6 inside this office. Follow me. Once you've submitted your form inside, you will get an acknowledgement slip that looks a little something like this. You'll also get a number by which you can track the status of your application on a website. The process goes like this. The election regional officer will send an official to verify that you actually live at your address, so there will be a physical verification done, following which, if all goes well, your voter ID will be dispatched to your address and you can vote in these Lok Sabha elections. In Mumbai, Kevin Lee.
All right, with that, we'll wrap up this edition of After the Bell.